Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's story is one that will touch your heart and make you reflect deeply on faith, patience, and the mysteries of the unseen world. It's the story of Kuan Paas Baithi, Jinzadi, the Jinn woman who has been waiting for someone for the last 70 years. This is not just a tale of the supernatural, but also a reminder of the power of waiting, the essence of loyalty, and the lessons hidden in the unseen corners of creation. So stay with me till the end, because what you're about to hear will leave you with a sense of awe and a renewed belief in the unseen realities that exist around us. Long ago, in a small and quiet village surrounded by dense trees and dry land, there stood an old well. The people of the village rarely went near it after sunset. They believed that something mysterious lived by that well, something beyond human understanding. Many elders of the village had warned children never to play near it, for strange whispers were often heard, especially at night. Some said it was the wind passing through the stones, but others insisted that the voice belonged to a Jinn woman, sitting quietly, waiting for someone who never returned. The story begins decades ago, around 70 years in the past. In those days, the village was much smaller, and people lived simple lives, connected deeply with nature and faith. Among them was a young man named Rahim. He was known for his honesty, his good manners, and his devotion to prayer. Rahim often went to fetch water from the old well, for it was the purest source in the entire area. He was not afraid of the stories told by the elders, because he always recited verses of protection before stepping near the well. One evening, as the sun began to set, and the call to prayer echoed faintly in the distance, Rahim reached the well to fill his bucket. As he lowered the rope, he felt a sudden stillness in the air. The birds that had been chirping a moment ago went silent. The breeze stopped. Then, from the corner of his eye, he noticed something unusual, a soft light glowing near the edge of the well. When he turned, he saw a figure sitting beside it. It was a woman, dressed in white, her face partly hidden, her eyes deep and sorrowful. Rahim froze for a moment, unsure if what he was seeing was real. Gathering courage, he softly greeted her with peace. The woman turned her head slowly and replied in a gentle voice, "Wa alaikum assalam." Her voice carried both sadness and grace. She asked him why he was not afraid to come near the well. Rahim replied that fear only belongs to those who forget that Allah protects them. She smiled faintly and said, "You have a brave heart." Over the next few days, Rahim kept thinking about that encounter. He wasn't sure if she was human or something else, but her sorrowful tone and mysterious presence stayed in his mind. He returned to the well again and again, sometimes finding her there, sometimes not. Each time, their conversation grew deeper. She spoke about loneliness, about how she had been waiting for someone who promised to return. Rahim asked her who she was waiting for, but she only said, "Someone who made a promise long ago." Weeks passed, and Rahim began to feel a strange peace whenever he was near the well. The woman, though otherworldly, seemed kind and wise. One day, Rahim gathered courage and asked, "Are you a human or a jinn?" She looked into his eyes and replied, "I am of the creation that you do not see. I was once among those who lived long before you. I am a Jinzadi." Rahim was startled, but not afraid. She explained that she had once helped a traveler who was lost in the desert many years ago. The traveler had shown her kindness and respect. Before parting, he promised to return, but he never did. Since then, she had been waiting near the well, believing that one day he would come back. 70 years have passed. She said softly, "But I still wait, not because I am bound by him, but because I gave my word to meet him again." Rahim was deeply moved. He asked, "Do you not get tired of waiting?" She smiled sadly. "For beings like us," she replied, "time flows differently. What is a lifetime for you may be a moment for us, but waiting teaches us patience, and patience brings understanding." Her words struck him with a deep spiritual meaning. He realized that this wasn't just a Jinn story of waiting, but a reminder of how promises, faith, and patience hold divine significance in life. One evening, Rahim did not find her at the well. The place felt empty. For days he went back, calling softly, but there was no answer. Then one night, as he sat near the well, he heard a whisper carried by the wind, saying, "Rahim, my wait is over. The one I waited for has come." The air grew calm again, and Rahim felt a strange peace in his heart. From that night onward, no one ever saw the Jinzadi again. Years went by. The story of the Jinzadi spread across villages. People began to visit the well not out of fear, but with respect. Some claimed that at midnight a faint light still glows near the stones, as if her presence lingers, watching over those who come with pure intentions. There are countless lessons hidden in this story. The first is patience. The Jinzadi waited for 70 years, never giving up hope. In today's world, we lose patience over the smallest things. We forget that Allah's timing is perfect, and that sometimes waiting is not a punishment. It is preparation. The second lesson is about promises. A promise is not just a word, it is a trust, an amana. Even the unseen creations of Allah understand the weight of a promise. The Jinzadi story reminds us that we must keep our word, no matter how much time passes. Another powerful message lies in Rahim's faith. Despite fear, he approached the unknown with trust in Allah. His courage teaches us that belief can protect us from things beyond our understanding. When we carry the light of faith, even the darkest places cannot harm us. There is also a spiritual message hidden beneath the mystery. The well represents the depth of our souls, dark, deep, and sometimes frightening. The Jinzadi represents the part of us that waits for forgiveness, for peace, for the fulfillment of our own promises to Allah. Just as she waited by the well, we too wait in the depths of our hearts, hoping for divine mercy and completion. The villagers who once feared the well eventually learned to see it as a sacred place, not because of the Jinzadi's power, but because of the lessons her story carried. It reminded them that every creation of Allah, seen or unseen, lives with purpose and meaning. None of us is forgotten. Everything has its appointed time. In many Islamic traditions, Jinn are real beings created from smokeless fire. They live, think, and feel just as humans do, though in a different dimension. They can be good or evil, believers or disbelievers, just like us. The story of the Jinzadi who waited near the well shows that even among the unseen, there are those who hold on to loyalty, faith, and hope. Some say that the Jinzadi's waiting was not for a man, but for forgiveness. Perhaps she had made a mistake long ago, and her wait by the well was an act of repentance. Perhaps the traveler was never meant to return. Maybe his promise symbolized her faith that one day Allah would forgive her. If we think deeply, her 70 years of waiting reflect the human condition, our long wait for peace, redemption, and reunion with our Creator. As Rahim grew older, he would often tell his children and grandchildren the story of the Jinzadi. He would say, "If you ever feel alone, remember the woman by the well. She waited for 70 years, but she never gave up hope. When you pray, and it feels like your answer is delayed, be patient, for sometimes what you're waiting for is waiting for you to be ready." His words became a source of comfort for many. The story spread from village to village, told around fires and gatherings, always with a sense of reverence. Some believed the Jinzadi was an angel in disguise, sent to test Rahim's faith. Others said she was a lost soul seeking peace. But no matter how the story was told, its message remained the same. Faith, patience, and promises define the strength of one's spirit. Even today, in some regions, travelers who pass by old wells whisper a prayer of peace, remembering the Jinzadi's tale. They say that if your heart is pure and your intentions are sincere, you might feel a cool breeze there, as if she is still blessing those who live with patience and truth. When we reflect on this story, we understand that waiting is not just about time. It's about faith. The world tests our patience in countless ways. Sometimes our prayers are answered immediately, and sometimes we must wait years. But every moment of waiting refines our souls, just as the Jinzadi's long wait purified hers. So, what can we learn from her 70 years of silence and faith? We learn that no act of patience is wasted. We learn that promises made in sincerity never die, and we learn that Allah's mercy reaches even those who wait by forgotten wells, unseen and unheard by the world. In the end, whether the story of the Jinzadi is real or symbolic, it serves as a mirror to our own lives. Each of us sits by our own well, waiting for something, an answer, a dream, forgiveness, or a sign. But just like her, we must keep our hearts steadfast, for Allah never forgets those who wait with faith. So next time you hear the wind whisper near an old well or feel the calm of the night, remember her story. Remember the woman who waited 70 years not in despair, but in hope. And remember that every moment of patience brings you closer to the one who sees all, knows all, and never forgets the promises of his faithful servants. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, make sure to share it with others, so they too can remember the beauty of patience, the value of faith, and the unseen mercy that surrounds us every day. Stay blessed, stay faithful, and see you in the next video.